Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And on this issue, we're glad to be joined over the phone, and we're honored to host our prominent guest, Dr. Hussein Khaled, the former higher education minister, to know more about the new system to be applied in the next academic year. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Dr. Khaled, in your opinion, what's the significance of education in building the future of our country, and how important is it to develop education and all the developments that has been taking place in the recent years?
Well, education and scientific research, especially in applied sciences, are the two main pillars upon which any country will develop and have a renaissance. And we have examples in many countries around us, like in USA, in Europe, in Malaysia, and India. They also increased the afforded about 2 to 3% of their GDP to scientific research and about 7 to 8% of education. And these are very important, and we are also doing this coming in with increased frequency in the coming years.
Yes, well, sir, you played various roles in different very important positions in the educational field. Well, how did that change your perspective in education?
My late father worked in education, and I have learned from him when I was young many things. And for myself, I have spent about more than 30 years working as vice dean, and vice president of Cairo University,
yes,
and then minister of higher education. And I have, I am very convinced with the importance of education in developing the country.
Yes.
Also, every day, my perspective was and is still the same about the importance of education. And also, in addition to this, I tried to gain the experience how to face the national and specific problems in Egypt rather than in other countries. And of course, every country has its main obstacles, problems, and opportunities as well.
Yes. Well, sir, the current pandemic, the coronavirus, had its impact on education, not only in Egypt, also worldwide. How do you see the impact of coronavirus or the current pandemic on education in Egypt and worldwide? How did it change the, or it raised awareness on the importance of the field of information technology, for example?
Well, it's a double-edged sword, of course, but we pray every time for this pandemic to be finished. However, we are sure that it will help in convincing all the authorities in every country to direct more resources to information technology and to invent or prepare the societies, different societies, to be dealing with this new technology.
Would you tell us what kind of opportunities does e-learning education promise?
Many opportunities. First, expand our knowledge with this huge cyberspace containing many sciences and many information. It permits also the inclusion of many students, especially in specialties or universities with big load of students, like, for example, in some faculties like Faculty of Art, Faculty of Law, and other faculties and other universities with a big load of students. And lastly, it's a very easy approach. You know, you can do everything while you are sitting relaxed in home or in any place.
Right. Well, how far do you think, sir, that e-learning will continue even after the pandemic?
Well, we have to cope with this because it's going to continue. It is here to stay and even to improve. And we have to cope with it, especially to the obstacles that may face the students. For example, the internet abilities that are available to them, the equipment like having iPads and tablets, and also the social environment that help in implementing this new technique. But I trust very much the ability of our young generation and their intellectual point of view.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, the Ministry of Higher Education applied the hybrid education, pointing out that this kind of education is widely used in several universities around the world. Would the students be able to cope with this new model of learning?
I'm sure they will cope. They have very, especially the young students, they have the capabilities and the intellectual facilities to do this, but we have to help them from the point of view of the society as well as from the authorities of higher education.
Yes, sir. Sir, in your opinion, how far would this crisis change the way we think about the provision of education in the future?
You know, we have some challenges. We have some, opportunities as well. And affording more number of trainees in the university staff, affording training for them, also developing new facilities, increasing the number of faculties, all of these changing the law governing the higher education in Egypt. It's present since 1972, and we are heading, I think, to go to the international standards where we can afford one university for 1 million Egyptian population. So if we have 100 million, then we need around 100 universities.
Yes. Well, sir, from your own perspective, what are the most important challenges facing higher education in Egypt?
Well, we need to change the legislations, as I said before. We also must increase the number of university staff that have a full-time job rather than a part-time job. I mean to be fully present the whole working day in the university, 5 days a week. We also need to have more increase in the percent of the GDP directed to education, research, and health as well. We can also must have more and more collaboration with the standard universities and the institutions that are participating in the development of the educational process.
Yes. Well, sir, nowadays students at universities are participating through their universities or faculties to manufacture race cars or wind turbines, things like projects, technical projects. How can this type of competitions add to the value of our national educational institutions?
Well, as I said before, applied research is very important for our country renaissance.
Yes.
And introducing the ability to invent and to do research early during the undergraduate education for the students nowadays is a must. And so these international and national competitions to manufacture, as you said, race cars, wind turbines, and other projects will add sure to the value of our national educational institutions.
Mm-hmm. Do you believe that the higher education reflects the demands of the labor market in Egypt?
Well, you know, it is improving, but still it is not optimal. Mm-hmm. The interaction between scientists and market leaders are crucial and important.
Yes.
Also, directing the types of specialities needed in the market is also to be encouraged. I mean, we must see what are the needs of the society and direct the educational side and process towards achieving these goals and these needs.
Mm-hmm. So do you think that we also need to work hard on technical education besides higher education?
Well, both, of course, is very important. The technical education is not optimal nowadays in our country, and even the view of the society to this kind of education is not the one which we all wish to. So we have to change the environment and the outlook of the society towards this technical education, and also to gain more authoritative governing laws and people to control this part of education.
Yes, so we need to direct or divert the attention of people, or draw their attention to the importance of technical education.
Exactly.
Right. Well, now 3 colleges now are being prepared to receive people with special need, and there is a plan to have more colleges ready to accept people with special needs. What are the expected measures to be implemented to facilitate the education process for those people with special need who will be admitted to those universities?
First of all, we have to develop a database to know the number of young people with special needs, so as to know exactly what kind and what number of faculties or institutions we need to add to the ongoing institutions now and departments. In addition to this, we have to introduce all the needed infrastructure for this kind of learning, and to change the attitude of the society toward the importance of this issue.
Yes, well, I would like to thank you very much, Dr. Hussein Khaled, former Higher Education Minister. Many thanks, sir, for your insight.